This is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian and Citizen Advocate. Okay, I'm going to put this into the aspect scene that I do also advocate for the disabled, as well as for business, as well as for humanity, essentially, as well as for each citizen in the United States of America. And also, this also can also connect with those of our allies within the U.S. Of U.S. allies, essentially. Um, Maybe in their own way, granted too. Uh, and also, it could be also a direct message to the idiot liberal Democrats in the U.S. Um, Now, I do thank you guys for keeping a peaceful protest, as you did yesterday. For those who did protest. And if you do protest again, which I'm not going to say if you do or don't, I'm not going to tell you what to do or not. But if you do, please keep it peaceful. No destruction of any property, as before. Um, but I do understand is that with many states not fully going into the aspect of being open, although Gavin Newsom and the Liberal Democrats are not really helping at all. Not even in the sense of the disabled, and even for the disabled population. And I can tell you, honestly, is that the more they lag on things, it can do things that are not good for us. I understand that, but the one thing is, though, too, is that things do go through ever so gradually, and I know at times it's a lot slower, like a damn snail, practically, if not slower than that, for things to go back to the base of norm. Although with that also is that the CDC being sued doesn't really help. And also by the way, that's my phone right there. Hold on one second here. Anyway, the with the CDC being sued, it doesn't really solve anything 100%. Even though it's a good thing that they were being sued because they CDC was lying to us and basically not doing anything positive for the American people. And I know with that it doesn't really put anything into where we feel comfortable. I get that. Um, and also, it doesn't really say, well, each state government's not helping us the way they should, right? Believe me, I get that. I've gone through, we've gone through this in other ways, even with the states open and going through other situations and issues, even even on the aspect of unemployment and shall we say close to retirements and such like that. But but the one thing is also, and don't get me wrong, I'm not siding with the government. I'm not part of the government. I'm not advocating through the government. Okay, I'm advocating in my own way for you American people, for the disabled, for our youth, for all of humanity, both for males as well as females, okay? For both men, women, and children, essentially, all the way through, and our senior citizens as well. Um, Now, and see, the reason I mention it that way is because are you advocating for the government? No. Are you part of the government? No. I'm not. That's the reason. Um, the basic fact is that I stand by that flag 100%, just like my father did as a Marine, just like any Marine in the U.S. Armed Service would essentially. Anybody who enrolled into it is defending what that flag stands for and for the Constitution, in support of the Constitution, and also in support of our rights and freedoms and humanity in general, all the way through. That's a definite plus. And I'm doing my part as my father did his part. I'm doing my part as an advocate, as my father did his part as a Marine. And the other thing too is this: is that Nancy Pelosi is acting like she's doing something good. Still, she and Meet the Press are lying to the American people, deceiving the American people. Meet the Press is deceiving the American people while they kiss ass of the socialist, liberal, democratic idiots. As they kiss the fucking feminist, fucking wrinkled ass of fucking Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. The two senile freak shows in the political office. And of course, Gavin Newsom and Darrell Steinberg in California are kissing her ass as well. They may say, oh, we're not doing that. We're truly here for you people. Bull fucking shit. The basic fact is that if Darrell Steinberg was truly doing things for the American people within the state of California, even after voicing that he was going to get housing for those on low incomes, working and not working type of incomes, and the supplemental incomes, in the sense of having a lot more affordable housing in the low income bracket, right? And also for the housing for the homeless. He's been lagging on that shit. I've made a video not too long ago within this year on my phone that showed a homeless human being, a male, granted, a homeless human being nonetheless, okay? He was laying against and kind of laying against the stairway on the side of the Sacramento chapel. Right on the one side of the light rail tracks that was heading in towards Power Inn, that direction, in Sacramento. And I was filming the damn thing on my phone, heading in towards Del Paso, in Sacramento. I was going the opposite direction while the homeless dude was just trying to stay in the shade from the heat. On the side of the Sacramento church building, being the cathedral building. And I even voiced what I voiced on the video. I made two separate videos to it. Okay, one was the video that I made with my phone, and I added a video when I was done doing the outings at one point, and I put that same video that I did with my phone on the description of that same video. And even now, there's no movement, even though things do take time, but they don't take 2 years. They don't even take fucking 3 to 4 years for shit to start happening. That's beneficial for the American people and the citizens of each and every fucking state within the U.S. to start with, and every other continent, even for our allies, citizens. Things need to be appropriated a lot better than they have, even through the Democratic Party. But yet the Democratic Party has an agenda, and the agenda does not involve benefiting the American people. The agenda is only for benefiting the liberal socialist Democratic Party. They won't tell you that straight out because they'll lie to you, and they know that what I said is an actuality, but they won't tell you straight to your face. They'll lie to you, and I've said that before. The reason they will lie to you is because they want you to believe them over anything else. Because they know if they told you the truth, they would lose support and vote from you, American people. The one thing is, we have a party that will tell you the truth, regardless, even if it may not seem like it to many people. And even if they don't, I will. And if they don't like it, I don't care, because I'm doing the advocating for you, American people, for our youth, for the disabled, for our youth's education, for humanity in general to have a positive light. Like I said before in one of my other videos, I believe in Roddenberry's vision, where money and wealth is no longer necessary and important, and where disease, war, and hunger, and the poor aspects of things are gone, where everybody is on the same level, even in the so-called now what would still be considered as the economic standings or levels, whichever, however you want to put it. And where we would only work to better ourselves, to expand our knowledge, our minds, and know-how, and what have you else. Besides Roddenberry's vision of space exploration, there's what I mentioned there. But the liberal Democrats don't really follow into that. I'm not going to say whether or not if the Republicans, both conservative and regular, do or don't either. I'm not gonna say if they do, because if I say they do, and then suddenly at some point or another everybody finds out they don't, you can say I'm full of shit on that one. But if I say I'm not gonna say that, then I'm not full of shit. Basically true. Because it's easy to say shit, I know, but the reason I say things is because I know it can happen. But but it doesn't always take protests for things to actually happen. There's a lot more that we can do for things to actually happen, to benefit not only humanity, to benefit not only our youth, to benefit not only our financial states and such like that, and financial situations, not only to benefit anything else. But there's ways to do it without protesting. Protesting is one way, yes, to get the word out. But aside from yesterday, where it was a peaceful protest, which I give you guys thumbs up on that. But the protest before that, where everything was practically ransacked and broken into and shit, that's not going to serve the purpose. And I know a number of you watched that video of me mentioning that aspect. But Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they want you to think something that's not really there. They want you to think that they are doing things for the American people within the Constitution. They can care less about the Constitution, to be honest. The liberals can care less now about the Constitution. They don't give a damn about any part of the Constitution. All they care about is getting what they want that benefits the party. And if you still believe that they're doing something for this country, that's your right. That's your constitutional right there, and I will back that up. But the one thing is, I'm telling you straight out, they can care less what happens to you, even with this pandemic. They don't care if the doctors declare that a person's death due to the virus when it's a load of shit in the fucking first place, just so they can get more of this under the table. That's the whole base. Everybody who has been passing away for various reasons, you would hear, oh, this person died because of the coronavirus. Yet, if anybody's had any knowledge that we've had, what came into the U.S. is has been a weak strain of what's known as SARS. The heavier strain of SARS would be able to clear off a larger number of the population. But the weak strain of SARS, in which entered the United States, dies out at 100 degree temperatures. Now, within California, as well as Arizona, Nevada, and maybe other states as well, that has had triple digits, even maybe moderate, more than a week worth of, say, 80 to 90 heat temperatures, that will gradually die it out. But the ones that are in the triple digits, completely, the strain is gone. But at the same time, I will back you up if you feel comfortable still wearing the masks and the gloves. You know what I mean? If you still feel comfortable until you're fully sure, even within you, that the strain is gone, you can still wear the gloves. You can still wear the mask if you want. If you feel comfortable and at ease with that, that's fine. That's okay. Seriously. But as I've said also, is that you can call this pandemic a extra precaution aspect of saying, well, make sure you don't get to where like people cough in your face or sneeze right in front of you, right like this, you know. But I know, as I said before, is that many people who have coughed and sneezed in one other person's face, we haven't gotten anything, have we? If we do, it's very minor. I mean, it's just a regular, regular maybe head cold or whatever. But that wouldn't constitute. It would not constitute to the coronavirus. Gavin Newsom also needs to realize that too, and so does every other freaking governor and mayor across the fucking board in this country. And also, Daryl Steinberg and many other mayors and governors need to realize they need to start benefiting the American people and quit trying to only pretend to benefit the American people when really they're benefiting their own party. And mostly you'll see that being done where they pretend to benefit the American people, but really they're benefiting their own party, and that is those idiots such as Gavin Newsom, such as Darrell Steinberg, such as Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and the mayor and governor of New York, and the mayor or governor within the other states that are in the liberal, socialist, democratic party. I'm not going to say that there might be some Republican mayors or whatever that want to benefit the party, but yet the way to truly benefit a political party is to truly benefit without bullshitting the American people, is to truly benefit the American people and our youth, to make sure things are done positively and logically for the American people and our youth. Not to pretend like it's being done when it's really not being done, and then fucking automatically think you're benefiting the party as you do that type of shit. You're not. There's no fucking positive aspects, even in the spiritual sense, of benefiting the party, and while you pretend to benefit the American people when you're not really benefiting the American people, because there's nothing coming out of the beneficial for the American people at all. When you pretend to benefit the American people when it's a load of shit in the fucking first place, and they know it, but they won't tell the American people that shit. They'll just have the American people think, oh yeah, they're benefiting us all the way through. And then like weeks and months go by, there's not one fucking percentage, not one sign of it, of the benefit for the American people, or our youth, or the disabled, or our senior citizens, or anybody else for that fucking matter. So it's a load of fucking shit coming out of the Democratic fucking vocabulary as they open their fucking mouth. Basically, you might as well say that they're shooting torpedo turds out of their mouth every time they fucking say shit. And yet we don't see it, so we're just you know, come on. We're being fed the bullshit from from the Democratic Party. Yet nobody is any of the wiser except for yours truly, obviously, and those who are Trump supporters as well. Even with the aspect if Trump has slipped up on saying something, believe me, you know I will tell you. I won't like it either, but I'll tell you. I'm going to be on. I've always been honest with the American people, and I'm going to continuously be honest with the American people and our youth. I will not. I will not do anything. I will not say anything that is unbecoming of a humanitarian citizen and disability and business and education advocate and health advocate. But of course, there are those advocates. I hate to say this, but there are those advocating type of agencies that will do things in support of the Democratic Party. Yet you might get a percentage of beneficial aspects, but not to the full entirety. That's what I've noticed. Now, yeah, I know you might say, "How do I know this information?" Even though I speak, even as I speak it, I just like you out there. have noticed many, many different things as years and months and days have gone by. And when I've noticed, even if I got benefited, or if someone else got benefited, or if another person got benefited, or if another person got benefited, whatever, right? The basic fact is that it's good, that it's a good and positive thing that people get benefited, but the one thing is that it has to be a beneficial thing in the logical, positive sense, not to the points of like just because they did a favor any sort that would benefit the party or benefit a particular faction or grouping, political or otherwise. The benefits have to go in a widespread, all the way across the board. Like like if a piece of bread was the United States of America, and the jelly or the peanut butter or the mayo or the barbecue sauce was the benefit, the thing that would be spread on that bread, right? On a piece of bread that would be spread on the bread, going all the way across the United States. Again, the bread being in the United States, and the sauce of what's being spread on the bread would be the benefit going all across the United States. Metaphor, and that's just an easy example of in a metaphorical sense. But in the liberal democratic sense of that same metaphor, it's only going one-sided. It's only going one-sided. It's not going to the American people. It's going to the Liberal Democratic Party because due to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. And who's supporting that bullshit? Gavin Newsom, Darrell Steinberg, Jerry Brown, many others, including Biden. Kamala Harris, Dianne Feinstein, Barbara Boxer are supporting that where it's one-sided. They can shoot a lot of shit out of their mouth all they want and say all the positive shit and make us believe, try to make us believe that shit. But yet, truth is in the eye of the beholder. On one aspect, they cannot just say a lot of shit and then fucking expect us to believe shit anymore. Because I know each and every day we hear a lot of shit from them, even in the media, and nothing comes out of it but a lot of phony, false bullshit and narratives. We got to show them that we are tired of that crap. Falsifying, fucking not benefiting the American people is not what that flag stands for. And that flag is to unite people, not to separate people. The liberal Democrats want to separate this country and the people. They want to divide the U.S. and the people. Trump wants everybody to unite. I want everybody to unite, to come together, essentially. The liberal Democrats are not about the American people anymore. Now, I can say that until I'm blue in the face. I don't care. But I'm being honest with you. The liberal Democrats are supposed to uphold what that flag stands for and what the Constitution says and is there for. But they don't, and like I said, the liberal Democrats don't give a damn about the Constitution anymore. They don't care what that flag stands for anymore. Believe it or not, I've been telling you the truth. I care about that flag. I would stand by that flag. I would fight by that flag. I would fucking fight by your side. Hell, if I was back in time and I was at the at the age in my 20s or late teens, I would fight by my father's side in the Marines. I would even fight by your father's side in the Marines and the Army and the Navy and the Air Force. I believe in this country, and I know in your own way you do too. Even with a lot of shit that's been happening that you may not agree with and don't like, I can totally understand. I can more than sympathize. Because each thing that we don't like that hasn't happened for us and that has happened to us that's negative, I understand. Everybody goes through it at one point or another in many different ways, as we all know. We're not alone in anything that goes on. Even though I know it feels like that it is that we do feel alone as we go through shit. I get that, and I do understand that. But trust me, we don't. We're not. We are never alone as we go through things, as we deal with things. We all go through things and deal with things in our own way, in our own time, and in our own special times. At times, things happen that we don't like, that we feel that we can't control, but we can make sure it doesn't happen even to us the next time around, and to make sure we can also do to make sure it doesn't happen to anybody, not even our youth. I mean, basically, make sure it does not happen even to our youth as they get old. Make sure things that don't that make sure things that make sure that things don't happen to our youth, even at the age that they are. Make sure that things don't happen to to our youth that are in the disabled population percentages. We can do that with again. It doesn't always have to be in the base of protest. But again, I do support those who do protest, as long as there's no destruction of private and public properties, and private vehicles and public run vehicles. Doesn't matter what type of vehicle it is. And as long as there's no harm to any other person, even if they are in a police uniform or anything else for that, or even if they're in a tuxedo going to the fucking Capitol or the fucking City Hall or wherever the fuck else. As long as there's no harm to any human being, it doesn't matter who. I support the protest because that's our constitutional right. But again, I do thank you for not destroying anything and making it a really strong, peaceful protest. Major more than double thumbs up on that. Now, the one thing is also is that I know with all the things that I've said, what can be done? You're asking. What else could be done that we haven't really thought of? Many things. What can be done that hasn't been mentioned? Many things. Still. Many things that do not go towards harm to anybody else, even ourselves. Many things that go to not only benefit us, but others. Many things that go to even benefit not only our youth, but other youth. Not only, and many things that go to benefit the disabled population of family members that we may have in our family circle, and others. Many things that can positively benefit the senior citizens in our families and others. But we got to want it to happen. We can write letters out until we get writer's cramp. But but we may need to do something even more than that, and it exceeds protesting, and it exceeds, and basically it's a positive thing, but it does not go to the point of going against anything or anybody in anger, and frustration, and stressing. It goes to the point of way beyond collaborations, way beyond various aspects of moderate leveled solutions, because not all solutions are the saving grace or solving aspects. And even when they go to a moderate solution, doesn't mean it's going to be pulled through now, does it? We got to make sure it does, and we got to make sure that it's something that they have no choice but to pull through with. And we have to make sure that they actually do it, not by force, but by actual actions, in where they would put themselves in our shoes, metaphorically. And they would want the same thing to be done for them, even though they're in a political office. Even though at current day they're in a political office, they need to put. We would have to have. We would have to do things in the sense of where they could see us, as we can see. They can see them in our shoes. If they were not in a political office, they'd want the same shit to happen for them. And that right there is one of many ways to make things happen. Not by force, not by holding a gun to their head, not by holding a gun directly towards them, not by any aspects of force or malice or anything like that. Not by destroying any types of anyone's property, even public as well as government. Not by harming any government official or secretary, not by harming anybody in the sense of the government as well as non-government and state, city, and county. What I'm saying, it would go with the base of logic. And logic does not connect with violence and destruction of properties. It does not. And that is one of the ways. But here's the other thing, too. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris may be hearing this, and many of the other constituents within the Democratic Party may be hearing this. They may be laughing at this. I don't care, but guess what, though? What they don't know is that we can make that we can make them and break them. We American people can make them in the sense of where they're in office again for another session or whatever, right? Another term in general. Or we can easily make sure that they are no longer. In fact, there was a saying or someone said that essentially that someone got a letter from quote unquote Nancy Pelosi. It was a computerized printed letter, nonetheless, in asking for their support so she can stay in the leader of the House for another term. Thereby, in her mind, it's saying, if you support me, you support the Democratic Party. You support our agenda. I don't support the negative, sinful agenda that goes against the Constitution, that goes against that flag, that goes against the rights and freedoms of every American person in the United States of America. That's what the agenda is of the Liberal Democratic Party, is to go against what's positive, to go against the American people. And the agenda of the Liberal Socialist Democrats is to go against that flag. The American and the Liberal Socialist Democratic agenda is to go against the American people, to go against the U.S. Constitution. Nothing positive and beneficial in that aspect at all. And I'm telling you the truth. If you want to know more, believe me, I'll tell you more on the next video. But I'm not going to tell you when that's going to be, though. But also, if you want to know more, ask me on the comment section below on YouTube to start with. And also, you can also ask me on my Facebook page of C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian Advocate and C.R.P.H.A. the Citizen Advocate, or C.C.A., which is C.R.P.H.A. Citizen Advocate, or C.H.A., which is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian Advocate, and also the C.D.A., which is C.R.P.H.A. Disability Advocate, and also C.H.A., which is the C.R.P.H.A. Health Advocate, and also the C.E.A., which is C.R.P.H.A. Education Advocate, and also the C.R.P.H.A.'s, being C.B.A., which is C.R.P.H.A. Business Advocate. There's many positive things that can happen for business, and I will go into that on my business advocate thing as well. Have a good day, and please stay safe, and please stay clean. And also, live long and prosper, as Leonard Nimoy's character Spock would say. And also, believe me, many things can happen, even with the aspect of help and guidance by our Heavenly Father and our Savior. Have a good day.